Suzuki launched the TU250 in 1994 to replace the GN250. The bike was lightweight with a standard riding posture meant to emulate the UJM, Universal Japanese Motorcycle, popular in the 1960s and 1970s. The second generation of the TU250, dubbed the TU250X, was introduced in the US market in 2009, though it did take a brief hiatus in 2010 and 2014. Available for 2016 all over the US with the exception of California, the TU250X makes a spiffy little commuter and economical transportation around town. This old-school style hasn't changed all that much since it was introduced, and even then it was a retro style that reached back even further. The fuel tank shape was common to UJM, right down to the pinch-oiled flanges where the tank comes together. The knee pad grip on the sides of the fuel tank give you a place to hang your high side knee in a turn, which is useful and appreciated. Where Triumph makes throttle bodies look like carburetors on its retro-styled bikes, Suzuki isn't as true to the past. The throttle body of the TU250X might give you the impression of a carb at a glance, but doesn't hold up to scrutiny. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just an observation. The rear turn signal standoffs, while typical of the era, do present a problem for your passenger. Okay, maybe it's not a problem, but at least something to be aware of. With the standoffs forward like that, your passenger will have to sit and slide back when mounting and then slide forward when dismounting, or run the risk of sweeping the standoff with her thigh. The standoffs break off rather easily if swept with a leg. Ask me how I know that. Go ahead and ask me. A little bit of bling gives the bike that pretty edge aura, a little chrome around the headlight case, speedometer can and taillight housing with some on the fork tubes, and a nicely polished crankless side cover for good measure. Not content to merely slap some retro-looking components on a contemporary frame, Suzuki designed this ride using a from-the-ground-up approach. Starting with a tubular steel frame that has a single down tube and a pair of rear braces, it uses the engine as a stressed member in the diamond-shaped engine compartment. The result is a strong, but lightweight, assembly that leaves the engine well exposed to the cooling airflow, as well as any potential admirers. As capable as this frame is, I prefer cradle-type frames. With the cradle-type frame, even without skid plates, the underframe still affords a certain amount of protection for the engine. I know, it's minor, but I am a bit paranoid about engine case damage as it is so very expensive to repair. The rolling gear is symmetrical, with 18-inch laced rims front and rear. Some people prefer cast wheels, I know. It's a preference that might come about if you ever have to try to lace and true one yourself. Laced wheels provide just a skosh of extra give that absorbs some of the energy from bumps and takes the edge off the jolt that would otherwise transfer to the rider. That's why laced wheels are popular on off-road bikes. However, it just plain looks cool. Front wheel bindage comes from a modern, twin-piston hydraulic caliper and disc, and the rear stops via mechanical drum brake. While I have no love for drum brakes of any sort, this bike is quite light at only 326 pounds, so the drum brake is sufficient, and it certainly adds to the classic panache. The suspension is simple and clean, with right-side-up hydraulic forks and blackout lowers up front, and a pair of external, coilover shocks between the swing arm and subframe areas. Overall, the TU250X is rather compact, with a 54-inch wheelbase and 81.5-inch overall length. The straight backbone leaves the seat at 30.3 inches high, not exactly butt on the road low, but manageable for most body types. A one-lung, air-cooled engine drives this classy little ride. At 249 cc, the engine is small. There are scooters with bigger mills, after all, but in keeping with the style of the bike, it works. Suzuki doesn't provide any current performance numbers, but it runs the exact same engine used when this bike was introduced in 2009. Authoritative third-party tests show 16 ponies at 7,200 RPM and 12 pound and 50 pence-feet of grunt at 4,500 RPM, as well as an economical 67 miles per gallon. The 75 miles per hour top speed, theoretically, makes it capable of short highway hops, but you will forgive me if I decline to test that myself. I feel much more comfortable cruising at 80 to 85 with a little mustard left over, know what I mean? In typical fashion, Suzuki bestowed its composite electrochemical material, SEM, into the cylinder wall that serves as a lightweight alternative to a heavy, iron, cylinder sleeve insert. A 32mm throttle body with fuel injection and Suzuki's proprietary dual throttle valve (SDTV) induction control system manages the air-fuel mixture. The factory keeps emissions down with its pulsed air feature that pumps a bit of air into the waste gas stream at the exhaust valve to burn of any remaining free hydrocarbons, and a stealth catalyst cleans it up even further. The factory uses an easy pull clutch, their description not mine, to couple engine power to the 5-speed transmission, and a chain final drive makes the connection to the rear wheel. An electric starter cedes to cranking duties, but I think a kickstarter would fit right in and provide a little extra safety/redundancy, as long as it didn't displace one of the gear clusters and reduce it to a 4-speed, of course. Msrp on the 2016 TU250X is a very affordable $4,399 and comes with a 12-month, unlimited mileage, limited warranty through Suzuki. You can add extensions to that through Suzuki Extended Protection. While I don't usually like orange, I do like the metallic fox orange and glass sparkle black combo offered for 2016.